Daya Zhang is touring factory locations in Mansfield, Ohio for her father's company, Hong Kong-based Zhang Innovations. Daya tells her father that bringing jobs into America will help their worldwide brand and would also help uplift Mansfield, which is a dying city. Wu Zhang agrees with her passionate plea. Before departing Ohio, she meets with the mayor, who expresses his pride in Zhang Innovations, considering their city worthy of hosting a factory, and reassures her of his support for the move. As she is about to board her private plane, her bodyguard and head of security, Bao Yung, senses something unusual around the hangar. His suspicion is confirmed when mercenaries disguised as workers ambush the group, and Bao takes some of them down. Unfortunately, he is knocked unconscious and fails to stop them. Daya is taken hostage along with several employees. The kidnappers leave the unconscious Bao with a USB flash drive addressed to security expert Ray Breslin. In Los Angeles, Ray is on his way to acquire a disc that will sever his ties with Lester Clark's black site operations. While speaking to him on the phone, Abigail emphasizes the importance of maintaining Breslin Security's reputation and Ray's clean image. Meanwhile, a man waits to meet someone named Mr. Chow, who introduces himself to the receptionist as Mr. Friend. Expecting danger, several bodyguards surround him, but he skillfully uses his umbrella and briefcase to neutralize them. Once the threats are dealt with, he uses the receptionist's access card to enter the office. He quickly knocks out Mr. Chow and searches his pockets for a disc, only to be confronted by Ray, who holds him at gunpoint. Mr. Friend introduces himself as Shen Lo, and Ray offers to examine the contents together, suggesting that Shen may keep the disc if it poses no danger to him. Back in Mansfield, Bao is being interrogated by the police, and they overwhelm him with questions. Shortly after, Wu arrives and demands answers about Daya's disappearance. When Bao claims he has no knowledge of the kidnapper, Wu becomes violent and is forcibly removed from the interrogation room. Left alone, Bao finds the USB drive in his pocket. Meanwhile, Shen joins Ray to meet with his associates, his girlfriend Abigail, Hush, and Jules. Hush is satisfied to find no mention of Ray or Breslin Security on the USB drive. Shen says that he had been the head of security for Zhang Innovations. Shen informs Ray that Zhang has built high-technology prisons all over the world and now makes money by torturing his prisoners on behalf of their enemies. Shen is also aware that Ray's partner Lester took funding from Zhang. When Shen asks where Lester is now, Ray replies that he hasn't seen him in a long time. Shen says that he heard Lester went on a long cruise. What happened was that Lester betrayed Ray by selling him out and was sent to his death. Shen says that he has a personal vendetta against Wu Zhang and is determined to bring him down. Just then, Bao arrives and hands Ray the USB drive. The video reveals that Daya has been abducted by Lester's son, Lester Clark Jr. Abigail and Shen deduce the video was filmed in a prison chapel in Russia, and Ray immediately calls Trent for assistance. Trent is easily able to trace the location to a place in Latvia known as Devil's Station. Agreeing to collaborate, he promises to arrange transportation. Leaving Hush in Los Angeles, Abigail insists on accompanying Ray and heads home to pack their bags. Meanwhile, Daya and her employees arrive at Devil's Station. As Daya pleads with Lester Jr. to spare them, he makes an example out of one of her employees, ending his life. Shen, in the meantime, interrogates Bao and holds him accountable for losing Daya. Shen is very close to her. Bao, well aware of his failures, expresses deep disappointment and agrees with Shen. Back at Breslin Security, as Abigail speaks with Ray on the phone, she is suddenly abducted. In Mansfield, Wu is with the police waiting on a call from the kidnapper. In the meantime, they ask him if he has any enemies. He states that he has the #1 tech company in China, so of course he has enemies. He just doesn't know who it is. He in turn demands that they get assistance from the neighboring states and do their job better. At that moment, he receives a video call from Lester Jr., and the police attempt to track his whereabouts. Unfortunately, his location is encrypted. Lester Jr. says that Wu could have helped his father, that he put his sick technology into every one of Lester's black site prisons and kept his hands clean. Lester Jr. proceeds to threaten to end both Wu and his business. He demands $700 million in ransom and executes a hostage to demonstrate his resolve. After the call, Lester Jr. moves the remaining hostages through various cells at Devil's Station and informs Daya that he is well compensated by powerful figures to capture and imprison inmates. The hostages are then confined to their cells. As Ray prepares to leave for Belarus with Shen and Bao, Lester Jr. heads to meet Abigail, bitter about his father's removal from the company he built with Ray. He accuses her of failing to intervene. Despite her pleas that she had no involvement, he remains unmoved. Once Ray meets Trent in Belarus, Shen calls Wu. He scrolls through his photos with Daya and advises Wu not to respond to the kidnappers' calls to prolong her life. The group, along with Trent, proceeds to Devil's Station. There, Lester Jr. forces Daya to identify which employee has the highest security clearance. Sensing danger, one of the hostages, Wong, volunteers himself. However, another hostage is executed, and Wong is taken away for further interrogation. Lester Jr. states Wong is going to give him access to Jiang's restricted developments. When he refuses, Wong is held at gunpoint, and he is coerced into revealing Jiang Innovation's future development plans. While a laptop is set up for him to access company data, Ray and the team arrive at Devil's Station. Hush uses a drone to survey the area, and thermal mapping shows that Lester Jr. is operating his own black site prison with around 40 prisoners. When no one seems to make a move, Bao grows frustrated, but Ray silences him, saying that they don't just go in blind and he has someone in there too. So, they will make their next move after gathering more information. Trent, claiming he works better alone, heads out with his Dragon's Breath ammunition. While Lester Jr. reflects on what to do with Abigail, one of his men, Frankie, urges him to keep in mind that their primary goal is to secure the ransom money from Wu. He advises him not to get sidetracked by his need for revenge for the death of his father, even suggesting they should just finish Abigail off and move on. Meanwhile, Ray and the team split up to launch their ambush at Devil's Station. With Trent taking his own route, Ray navigates alone through the sewer tunnels, leaving Shen and Bao waiting together outside. Lester Jr. is notified of their arrival and quickly orders his men to remain hidden. Ray senses something is amiss when Shen reports no one is around the security tower and warns him to stay vigilant as they proceed. Using Daya as bait, Lester Jr. cuffs her to a balcony ledge, ensuring she can be easily seen from the outside. Realizing they're walking right into a trap, Shen advises they hold off on action, but Bao ignores this advice and rushes ahead. Shen attempts to stop him, suggesting they wait for Ray's instructions, but Bao is eager to rescue Daya. Sadly, they trigger multiple landmines and get captured. Lester Jr. thanks Bao for leading him straight to Ray, revealing that his USB drive had a tracker that enabled Abigail's capture. Lester Jr. then brings in Daya and Abigail. When he sees Daya staring at Shen, Lester Jr. realizes that the two know each other despite Daya denying it. Aware that Ray is listening in, Lester Jr. shoots Bao down. He then calls Ray to show him Abigail's death by slitting her throat. Devastated and filled with guilt, Ray continues his journey through the tunnels. All the while, Frankie searches for him. Realizing there's someone else in the tunnels, Ray waits to strike when Frankie approaches. Swiftly, he neutralizes him with several stabs and proceeds further. Consumed by grief over Abigail's loss, Ray takes down several of Lester Jr.'s men along the way. Meanwhile, Daya and Shen are placed in separate cells, where Shen immediately starts looking for an escape route. After emerging from the tunnels, Ray eventually finds his way to the chapel. Back in Mansfield, Wu sticks to Shen's instructions and ignores a call from Lester Jr., despite pressure from the police. Meanwhile, Shen gathers scraps from his cell's wall and uses a stolen taser to set a fire, freeing himself from his restraints. Finally, Trent arrives armed with Dragon's Breath. The smoke from Shen's cell catches the attention of other prisoners. Daya notices as well, and their captors head to investigate. When the door opens, Shen swiftly disarms one attacker and then handles another. He grabs the key to Daya's cell and frees her, but they're held at gunpoint until they both duck, with Trent eliminating all the assailants in the room without hesitation. The trio then escapes to safety, while Trent relentlessly pulls the trigger. Lester Jr. and his men observe the situation, and he quickly gives orders to address the problem. As Trent continues through the cells, he's ambushed and engages in close combat with an opponent, leading to his weapon being taken away while he endures a beating. Trent doesn't give up, and as the fight continues, he takes a brutal pounding. He tries to fight back, but his opponent is incredibly strong, and eventually, Trent delivers a super slam, ending the confrontation. Daya tells Shen they need to rescue Wong before he gives up any valuable information. Meanwhile, Wong bravely refuses to expose company secrets and is saved just in time by Shen. This leads to an intense battle, and Shen challenges the man to take the fight outside. They engage in a fierce fight, and Daya advises Wong to take cover while Shen uses all his combat skills to help him. He gets knocked down but rises quickly to strike back. With precision and skill, he alternates between defense and offense, but his opponent keeps attacking until Shen twists and breaks his foot. He smirks and delivers the final blow, ending the fight. Shen embraces Daya, and together they head for the exit. Meanwhile, Ray and Lester Jr. finally confront each other in a shootout. Both men grapple with their need for revenge and loss, closing the distance as they fire. Lester Jr. manages to injure Ray and disarm him. Still, Ray's thirst for vengeance fuels his determination to overpower Lester Jr. His grief over Abigail's death drives him to relentlessly assault Lester Jr. With almost no resistance, Ray ensures the man who killed his girlfriend faces nothing but death. He returns the favor and slits his throat before pushing him off the balcony. The others join Ray, and Shen offers his condolences, while Daya and Wang express their gratitude. Returning to Mansfield, Wu waits for his daughter's arrival and watches as her plane lands. However, when she steps off the plane, Daya coldly greets her father. Now aware of his involvement with the black site prisons, she decides to stand by Shen instead. Accepting her decision, Shen shows Wu and Ray the disc that started it all, hinting that he intends to keep it safe for future use. Wu walks away in despair and alone with his friend. Trent comforts Ray over Abigail's death, urging him to forgive himself, while at the same time persuading Ray to join him in South America. Claiming that he owes him one, and Ray decides to retire.